Hi, and welcome to SCW here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Live once again here on YouTube.com. And yeah, feel free to get involved. Join the conversation. This is the SmackDown review, and also got a couple of anecdotes going into WrestleMania. A few things going around in the rumor mill. But before we get started, let's just play this. So happy WrestleMania weekend, everybody. Hope you're having a good one so far. Let's go through SmackDown then, shall we? And let's talk about the show quickly in depth. Not too much to report. A lot of promos this week. It was a lot of talking more than action. We only actually had 3 matches on the entire show. Mainly, the focusing ring was focused around Daniel Bryan's opening promo, Edge in the middle of the show, and Roman Reigns to close the show. Of course, that's the triple threat main event of night 2, your championship match from SmackDown. Daniel Bryan basically not really doing so much at the start of the show, more basis on the yes movement, how he's been told no for a lot of his career, and he just he's going to take the opportunity. He's going to take his moment. If you look back at WrestleMania 30, he did it there. He plans to do it once again here at WrestleMania 37. Edge's promo in the middle of the show was absolutely superb. Absolutely loved it. The fact that he touched on so many different talking points that a lot of people haven't discussed. I mean, Edge was sort of talking along the lines of how his return has not been made such a big deal of, how his 10-year anniversary hasn't even been mentioned by WWE. Where's the video packages been? If this was Daniel Bryan, it would have clearly been done. It was clear direction of jealousy from Edge, but also some superb points. And also, I love the fact with the actual, how we sort of link things with Roman Reigns. He kind of said, look, we've been similar throughout our entire career. You've turned around and done things how I've done it. You've come through the crowd. You started in a 3-man stable. You used the spear. All these sort of little antidotes to use there by Edge. And you just see that desperate nature coming back in, the Edge, that heel Edge that we know and love, but kind of correct with his points as well. He's on point with everything he's saying. It's a really interesting tweener dynamic we've got going on with Edge right now, and it really plants some seed of doubt of what's going to go on. Roman Reigns was the close of the show, and Roman didn't really say too much different to what he said before. He told Daniel Bryan that he wouldn't tap out to him. Of course, he did actually do it at Fastlane. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens again, if that changes the dynamic of the match. Of course, I've predicted that Edge will win this match on Sunday. So will Daniel Bryan get the victory? Will he make Roman tap out on the grandest stage of them all? We'll have to wait and see. He did also say from Edge that, well, he took things from Edge. It wasn't taken away from Edge. Roman took it for him. He's actually carried the ball and been Universal Champion since. So all in all, collectively, very well put together. Not so much really in-ring stuff to really get you hyped up for the show, but the words from the guys was certainly solid stuff indeed. I did quite enjoy it. We've got a shout out just very quickly from Jonesy Chats Wrestling saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, George. Thanks for coming and checking this out. Like I say, it's just more of a practice more than anything. I didn't actually say to everybody that I would do this, so I would do a SmackDown review. So without further ado, here it is. I hope you guys enjoy it, and of course join the conversation with anything that you want to involve yourself. I actually will be joining Jonesy as well at 4 o'clock, so in half an hour's time. So you can see this is just a practice. It's just a bit of fun. We'll be going in full depth with a lot of things from 4 p.m. But looking at this then, we had some matches through the show. We had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Fatal 4-Way. There was an attack before the match took place. The Street Profits were talking backstage with Kayla Braxton. They were attacked by the champions, Robert Roode, I should say, and Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dogs. Of course, this led to the Alpha Academy and the Mysterios coming out involved to make a big brawl before this even started along sort of the rampway. Quite fun. We got into the match, went a couple of commercial breaks, was definitely high-flying action, good technical wrestling, a lot of near falls and spots. It was good fun. It was a good, entertaining Fatal 4-Way. But I was so certain we were going to get new champions, and that wasn't to be the case. Montez Ford looking like he was going to pin Chad Gable with actually in that superb frog splash from the top rope, but a blind tag had been made, which we then saw Dolph Ziggler hit a super kick onto Montez Ford, and the legal man, Robert Roode, actually pinning his former tag team champion partner from years gone by, Chad Gable, for the Dirty Dogs to retain the championships. It was a bit of a sort of a feeling because of the fact that I wanted to see new tag champions. The way to really start off that, that build to WrestleMania, the WrestleMania weekend being here. We didn't quite get that, but of course it was a very good match indeed. One match that didn't get me hyped at all for WrestleMania, if I'm being brutally honest, was Nia Jax against Tamina. Why was this on the show? I understand it. Natalya actually beat Shayna Baszler last week in a quick match. This week, Tamina picked up the victory with DQ. It did look like she was going to win after actually hitting a Samoan drop, but Shayna Baszler stopped from any pinfall from happening. This was just filler stuff. It's to make Tamina and Natalya look strong going into this, perhaps the favourites from the tag team turmoil, perhaps that they can go and take on the tag team champions. But there was a melee backstage, all the women that were in this tag team turmoil attacking one another in the backstage area. Natalya and Tamina coming in quite late on to again look the more dominant going in. The fact they look so dominant for me makes me feel they're not going to be the one. I think personally for me, if I had to predict, now that we see that Carmella and Billie Kay are going to be involved, I think they are going to be the ones that will be challenging on night 2, because Carmella, Reginald, that storyline's still there. Billie Kay has just been looking for that partner for months. Kind of fits together, doesn't it, as a storyline? They don't really go together as a tag team. I would have much preferred to see the Iconics reunite, or Carmella perhaps with Bayley or something like that, for example, but it isn't to be the case. But either way, it still was okay for what it was. Bayley and Sasha Banks had backstage sort of interviews, promos, if you want, with Kayla Braxton. Not really saying a lot to hype the match any further, but what we do know is it will be the main event of night 1, and I am convinced that it's going to be a fantastic match when it goes down. Bianca Belair said it could be the greatest moment of her life if she wins here at WrestleMania. And of course, Sasha may be dangerous, but she is the EST in so many different things, and that was what makes her dangerous. And I think this was a good babyface promo. It sort of did what it needed to do to get Bianca some momentum going into WrestleMania. Certainly, she's needed one of them big babyface promos for a long time. For Sasha Banks, really not much to say here, really. She said that she is the BEST, she's the best, and I must have heard that evil laugh 3 or 4 times. We're going to have a little shout out here to Martin Correa. Thanks for joining in on the conversation. Hello, SCW. This SmackDown was sadly pointless. It felt like 2015 all over again with a bunch of Raw promo packages. This was kind of just a hype show. To put it nicely, they even had video packages from Monday Night Raw's rivalries, The Fiend and Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. There was some skippable stuff on this show for sure. And like you say, some of these with the promos, they were good promos, but they didn't really do anything to heighten up the stakes for what we've got at WrestleMania. So like you say, there is a bit of a pointless element to these. But one thing I didn't find pointless, I did think enhanced the storyline, was Seth Rollins and Cesaro. A fun little comedy video package that came up very quickly. And it was to do basically saying that Cesaro never had a singles match at WrestleMania. He's never been Universal Champion. He's not been like Seth Rollins. Is this someone you want to get behind? Maybe you should get behind someone like Seth Rollins, a 2-time Universal Champion, someone that's won lots of championships, had lots of WrestleMania moments, some of the biggest of all time. We should embrace the vision. This was great comedy from WWE. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed that. I think it really heightened what was going on. And Sami Zayn as well, another one that heightened things in his sort of segment. Of course, he went to go and visit the Pauls in the sort of their training gym, and he wanted to be in and around that. But instead, he kind of, once he said he was going to do like some sparring with them, he ended up going through the sideway to perhaps what I assume would be a locker room to get himself ready. He ended up going out of the back door, and then when he tried to get back in, he was told that it was closed off. That was quite amusing. Of course, then he went to Michael Cole and sort of expressing his feelings. How does it get on TV? Kevin Owens actually attacked him before, we actually had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So that was kind of fun for what it was. It didn't do so much to heighten things, but I found that amusing and entertaining nonetheless. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, let's be honest with you here, most people all came out together, didn't they? Let's be honest here. We only had actually 3 entrance packages here. We had Shinsuke Nakamura, we had King Corbin, and we had Jey Uso. So surprise to everybody, these were the final 3 in the match. But there was some fun moments in this match that I did kind of enjoy. I did kind of enjoy the fact that the Hurt Business, or the ex-Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, were thrown out of the match because of the fact they were kind of on top. But no one wanted to take up the Lucha House Party, Elias, Jackson, Riker, Retribution all together at once. No one seemed them as much of a threat as they did Cedric and Shelton. So in a way, it kind of protected them. That looked kind of good, I will be honest there. But looking at it, as we went through the match, a lot of the jobbers just got thrown out of the match. Mustafa Ali actually eliminating a couple of the Retribution members, actually Mace and T-Bar, which looked quite impressive. I mentioned we go down to the final 3. King Corbin was eliminated by, I believe it was by Shinsuke Nakamura, if I'm not mistaken. And then eventually Jey Uso mentioned to throw Shinsuke Nakamura over the top rope and becoming your winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which for me, I think was the right winner. I think it was the only choice. Main event Jey winning the main event match on SmackDown. It was a shame to see that it was pulled from the WrestleMania card as well, but the fact is he got this big win. The trophy doesn't mean so much, but it's a symbol of saying what a great year Jey Uso has had. And of course, that led in then to that promo baggage we had with Roman. We'll go here to another comment there, which I've been saving to talk about this now just because of this. Martin Guerrero saying, I enjoyed Big E's promo. It felt really serious. Can't wait for his match against Apollo. They did have a pretty good build, in your opinion. And I agree. I really loved it. One thing I wasn't actually aware of was that Big E actually is his hometown Tampa. I wasn't aware of that. I thought that was really cool to see the passion he had there, obviously going through Raymond James Stadium. He's, playing college football, his high school, actually as well saying that, Apollo had forgotten his roots, where Big E always goes to his roots. I think that was really cool. I really liked the way that was put together. And I do agree with you. The build to this match overall has been completely solid. And one thing I'll say is I felt Apollo needed to win at WrestleMania, but I do have this feeling that maybe Big E's going to get that hometown win. There's always that excitement. So I'm kind of torn out where this match is going to go. And thankfully, we've still got 24 hours until it goes down. But that's pretty much SmackDown overall, really, when you look at it. I mean, there's not much more to say, really. This show was just a lot of filler, really, just to try and hype up WrestleMania for what it was. I thought it was okay at best, but like you said in the comments already, I think it was slightly unnecessary. I would have liked to have seen the matches themselves at WrestleMania. It would have been fun to see. One interesting note I haven't mentioned, goodness, I almost forgot about it, is Sonya Deville did actually make a comment after Edge's promo saying that she thought that WrestleMania should have been a one-on-one match with Roman and Edge, and that Daniel Bryan shouldn't have been in the mix. It's a bit late to say that now. Now we're literally like 2 days away. I don't know where that's come from, but maybe that can play in some of the narrative of the match. That would be interesting. I still feel there's an interesting dynamic with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, something to keep an eye on. I reckon for the summer, there's going to be friction there, and I do think eventually Sonya Deville will become the overall GM of SmackDown. So I want to keep an eye on this. Maybe it's something that's going to play into the main event. Maybe there could be an alignment. Maybe it could be, I don't know. It'd be weird, really, if Edge or Roman Reigns were aligned with Sonya Deville, really. But maybe it could be to have authority in the pocket. I mean, Roman Reigns, for example, he thinks he owns the show. So maybe it could make sense in a weird way. I'm not sure. But to give an overall score, then let's go out of 10 then for this. I mean, I'm going to give a solid 5. I mean, like I say, some stuff was filler, but some stuff was fun. Overall, as a show, I'd say check out the matches. We mentioned there in the comments already the Big E promo. Go and check that out. Edge's promo in particular was electric. And yeah, I mean, the Sami Zayn thing was quite entertaining as well. So there are some things there that I do enjoy from SmackDown. Joseph Chats Wrestling has got involved here just before we go into the WrestleMania Rumours. Are you excited for night 1? Should be great in ring. Yeah, I'm really excited. I've got WrestleMania fever, as you probably can tell here. I am excited for the show and seeing what's going to go down this evening. I think there will be some great matches in here. I'm particularly looking forward to the idea of Cesaro against Seth Rollins. I think that's going to be a killer match. 2 indie guys, yes, with great history. I think Cesaro finally deserves to get his moment. I think as well with some of the actual breaking news, we know Sasha and Bianca is going to be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, which should mean that Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley actually kicks off the show. If you watched any of my videos this week, you'll know that I'm a big advocate for this. I think this is the right order that it's gone down. Drew and Lashley, it's going to feel like a main event anyway. It's the first match in front of fans. That is going to be special in itself. Arguably could even feel like one of the biggest moments of WrestleMania. Drew has been talking about this for months. He's wanted this for a long time, so it feels like he's got his wish. And a lot of fans, they've got their wish. Twitter will be happy. We've got 2 women in the main event of WrestleMania, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. This is going to be special. Do they want to actually have a big swerve at the end of the night, a big shock, or do they want to send the fans home happy? It's going to be exciting to see, and I'm looking forward to talking about this, more in depth. I mean, if you've seen my predictions, go and check them out. But to say here on this channel, right here, right now, I now knowing this match is last, I'm sticking with a prediction. I think Bianca Belair is going to walk away the SmackDown Women's Champion. Just before I leave you then, just if you want to drop any comments, get involved in the conversation, because now I'm going to quickly talk about Becky Lynch. And then after that, there's 1 or 2 other small things to talk about. In fact, I'm going to start off actually with one, because we talked about Big E and Apollo. WWE apparently still don't know what a Nigerian drum fight is. That's quite interesting that Big E said that in interviews this week, that he kind of feels, well, I don't really know what's going on with this match. We don't know the rules yet. So it's interesting to see that not only do we not know, they don't know. But I have a feeling it's going to be like the Belfast Brawl from WrestleMania 24. I've got that vibe kicked in. I think it'll be like what Finlay and JBL was. The good old-fashioned brawl, a great old-fashioned street fight. I think it's going to be something like that. Should be fun to see. But the rumors going around then, Becky Lynch, she's teased that maybe she could be returning on night 1 of WrestleMania. She posted a tweet, an Instagram post yesterday doing some workout in Tampa. And of course, when she had the sort of tweet together, it didn't really make a lot of sense. But if you look at the first letter, everything, it said night 1. Now, for me, I have seen rumors going around that whether it's been, Wrestle Talk, I've even actually spoke to Jonesy about this off air, suggesting the idea that perhaps a Bayley, ding dong hello, we could get a Bayley on WrestleMania, and that Becky Lynch would be the surprise that she would actually come back during this segment. That would be an awesome WrestleMania moment if that was to go down. If Becky Lynch does return, it would be monumental. I think it's something that WWE probably needs right now for the women's division. I think as well for SmackDown, it'd be amazing. I mean, I expect Becky Lynch to be on SmackDown rather than Raw, purely because Seth Rollins is now on SmackDown. And what a great starter feud that would be if it was Becky Lynch against Bayley. The only thing I will say, though, in hindsight with this is that I have a little bit of a seed of doubt. I mean, Becky Lynch did tease at the Royal Rumble that she was going to be there. It didn't happen. I still wonder if it will. I wonder if Becky's training to come back. But at the same time, I'm not so sure if it will be on night 1. Knowing our luck, she's trolling us and we think, she's not there on night 1 and this actually happens on night 2. How pretty cool would that be? But hey, look, I'm excited to see what's going to go down either way. Let's wait and see. If it happens, it should be awesome. If it doesn't happen, it was a pinch of salt. It was a bit of fun. Becky's been trolling us. And do you know what? She would have won doing so. A couple of other rumors that have just been knocking around then, just before I close off. One was that Triple H, there was a discussion, it was on the Wrestle Talk News yesterday, of the idea of Triple H having one more match. He said WrestleMania is not necessarily the one, but he would be open to doing one more match, and AJ Styles would be the guy that would be actually open to facing. I'd quite like to see that match go down. I think that would be a lot of fun. AJ apparently has been pitching for that match as well. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, Triple H in ring always is someone that I've been happy to watch over the years. I think Triple H is a master of his craft. And the fact is as well, a match against AJ Styles, look, AJ can have a great match with anybody. I think this would be an awesome match. And I think it should be at WrestleMania next year. I'm just throwing the idea out there. But Triple H, he has been happy with doing stuff with his baby, NXT, as we know. He's doing a lot of stuff with NXT, some great things as well. Just come off a great 2-night takeover, Stand and Deliver. And I think that's probably where his primary focus is. But Ric Flair told him if he doesn't do this big retirement thing, he will regret it. I happen to agree with that. I do think that will be the case. But just before I leave you then, I'm just going to quickly say that very close to the magic 1,000 subscribers, only 8 subscribers away. So do spread the word of SCW, do share it. And of course, if there's any questions in, then do drop them in right now, because I will be leaving you in a couple of seconds. But just to say that actually, if you haven't seen them already, go and check out my WrestleMania 37 predictions video. It is available for you right now on the channel. You can get all the full hype there going into WrestleMania. And as well as that, if you want to know my NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver review, that dropped just a few hours ago. So that is on the channel now. It was a bit later than I wanted it to be, but it's there. I recommend you highly go and check it out. I do have a question that's just come in here. It's from Martin Carrillo. It says, do you think Raw will be better post-Mania? I can only hope so. I do feel that leading up to WrestleMania, it has been lackluster. But if I'm being brutally honest, I mean, we've got Money in the Bank season coming after this. We will have finished a lot of the storylines that we've got going on. I hope WWE can just clear what they're doing on Raw and just make it a better show overall, because the last couple of weeks have been really, really bad. Let's be fair. This past week was very generic. Not really anything happened to hype us for Mania. But for a go-home show as well, that's really, really poor. And the week before, I mean, it was for 4-year-olds. Let's be fair. It wasn't really for our demographic at all. But I really hope with WWE that they will do. I'm quite excited with the idea that with WrestleMania, we've got fans. And I think that WWE can actually get a bit of a gauge and judgment of what's going on right now, because if they come and say this superstar's really over, this superstar's not, this storyline's clicking, this other one isn't, hopefully they can sort of take the pieces together, because in the Thunderdome you don't really get that. And I think that WWE can just sort of do what they want and get away with it. I'm hoping from here they're going to get a good idea over the next 2 nights what fans are into, and then from there, like you say, Raw post-Mania, things can happen. And who knows, Raw post-Mania, usually we get some sort of excitement happens. I know last year was a bit of a different year, but usually there's some sort of big thing that happens after WrestleMania. The Raw after Mania was always famous. Let's see. Maybe we get an NXT call-up, maybe a surprise. Maybe that's when Becky Lynch returns. Who knows? It certainly will be exciting either way, but let's keep an eye out what goes on for WrestleMania and beyond. And fingers crossed that WWE will go into a good direction heading in to Money in the Bank. But that's all for this video. It's been quick. It's been fun. It's great. Thank you for those that have been getting involved in the conversation. Really have appreciated it. It's been my SmackDown review and just a couple of the rumors going into WrestleMania. Like I say, go and check out other videos on the channel for you right now. Highly recommend it. In fact, I did a WrestleMania Q&A as well. Go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. I will be now actually taking a mini break. I've got a lot of appointments going on today, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go on Jonesy Chats Wrestling. That is coming up in 15 minutes time. We're going to be talking about SmackDown as well. And also we'll be talking about some of the WrestleMania rumors as well. So lots of things they're going to be going on with that. Should be fun to go and see. Going to go on the Rated R for Wrestling. That's going on in just over 1 hour's time. We'll be talking about night one of WrestleMania. Going to give lots of predictions. There's lots of content creators that will be on that as well. So certainly will be a lot of fun to go and check that out. Definitely get a lot of people's different variety of thoughts and opinions. Highly recommend that. And then I'm going to go and join Tom Colohue later on. That is going to be the last stop. And that's going to literally be the 2 hours before WrestleMania. So that's going to be 11 p.m. British Summer Time. And I believe that means that will be 6 p.m. Eastern Time for people in the States. And unfortunately, my time zones are useless the rest of the world. So unfortunately, have to work off on those two, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, that should be a lot of fun with Tom Colohue. I think it's going to be on Twitch. Hopefully, it's going to be on YouTube as well. But make sure to go and follow me on Twitter. You can see it on the screen now at SCW_Steve. If you need to know any of the links of any of those channels or any of those places I'm going to be, then go and check that Twitter out now, because I'm going to go and share those as and when they come along, and that way you know where to find me today. But it's WrestleMania fever. It's WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania is tonight. And as Martin Guerrero says, let's all enjoy WrestleMania. Let's go. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Let's go from here. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're watching this on delay, leave a comment in the comment section. What did you think of SmackDown? I want to know your thoughts. And are you rumors going around? Let me know right now. But that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have yourselves a good one. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube.